Change starts with you. Hey guys, back here with another motivational video. So, I think I did something like this before, but this thought just came to my mind today due to just something that me and my grandfather on my dad's side and my dad were all talking about. And thought I should talk about it here. Our world changes every single day, every single moment, every single second. Something's changing. There's no getting around that. Change happens whether we want it to or not. We don't always have to agree with it, but we do have to acknowledge that it happens. Now, change can happen in many different ways. Things can change in the world, things can change in people's lives, or things can change because maybe we want them to change. But what about when we want them to change, but we don't do anything to make that change happen? I'm Elijah Hedgeman. I'm 19 years old, hearing impaired, visually impaired, and I want to make a change in the world. I want the world to realize that just because I have disabilities, just because anyone has disabilities, does not make us disabled. It does not mean we can't do anything. You know what it means? Nothing. We can do things exactly like you can. However, we just do it differently. So maybe we can't do things exactly like you can for people who don't have disabilities, but we can still do them. We can still do the same things. We just do it differently. We can still walk everywhere like you can. We just use canes or sighted guide. We can still talk like you can. Nothing different about that. We can still see like you can. We just see differently. Our eyes don't work, so we use our other senses. We can still hear like you can, but we use our other senses when we can't hear. We're just like you. Anyone who has a disability, regardless of what it is just like you for people who don't have them. I don't know what else I'm about to say there, but regardless, you get what I mean. For anyone who doesn't have a disability, just because you don't have one, doesn't mean you're any different from someone who does. Just because you're white doesn't mean you're different from someone who's black or brown or beige. Just because you're a different ethnicity doesn't mean you're different from anyone else. At the end of the day, we all came from one place. Now, you can definitely have different views on where we came from, because not everyone has the same religion. So everyone is entitled to what they believe. Everyone believes in one way or another that a different being or different beings created us, and that's why we're here. Or something created us, and that's why we're here. However, I think we can all agree, no matter what, we're all here because something wanted us to be here. Something created us to be here. And gave us minds of our own to think how we want to think, to do what we want to do, free will for anything we wanted to do. Now, take that and run with it, because it's true. We're all here because something or someone wanted us here. We may not know who or what that thing or person is, or entity, whatever you want to call it is, but we can all agree on that. We're here because something put us here. Now, it's about how we treat each other that comes next. We all came from something, right? Well, then acknowledge that. But if we all came from something, that means that we're all the same, whether we want to believe it or not. We were just made differently. So we're not the same when we look at each other. We're not all black, we're not all white, we're not all disabled, or people who have disabilities, or people who aren't disabled, or people who don't have disabilities. But we're all human. We're all living things. We all breathe, we all eat, we all bleed red, we all need to survive in our own ways. So acknowledge that. No one's better than anyone. We're all here doing what we have to do, surviving how we have to survive. End of story. That's how I'm going to make my change. But my change isn't everyone's change. Some people want to change the world in different ways. That's how I choose to change the world. When I'm gone, I want my mark to be that I was able to change the world just a tiny bit. And even if I couldn't change anything, well, hey, I want people to know that I at least tried. That's my goal in life. To change the world for the better. To tell my story and let people know I survived it. I'm here. Now it's your turn to survive and tell your story. Change the world however you know how. But change has to start somewhere. You want the world to change? You want anything to change? You want to make a change? Then start making a change. Start speaking. Start telling people your story. You don't have a story to tell? Well, then start telling other people's stories. Start studying and looking into how other people lived and made their changes. If your change is the same as theirs, then tell their story. But it starts with you. It starts by you saying what you have to say in any way you have to say it. If you can't speak, then write it. If you can't write, well then, have someone write it for you. But make it real. Make it come from the heart. Because that's how any change starts. You have to mean what you're saying. Because if you don't mean what you're saying, then the rest of the world's going to know it too. And if the rest of the world knows it, well, then nothing's going to change because no one's going to want to change because they're not going to believe anything you're saying or want to hear anything you're saying because it doesn't come from the heart. You're just doing it because you have to. Real change comes from within. Real change comes from within your heart, from your spirit, your soul. You want to make a change? Then go on and make a change. But mean it with your heart and soul and spirit. Stand up and fight. Stand up and speak. Fight against what you think should be fought against. But you have to mean it. And it has to start with you. Thank you. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you do, leave a like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you guys later with a short and with a daily quote. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. This is your favorite Super Saiyan / demigod signing off. Love you guys, and peace out.